The other piece of news that's also gaining some traction right now is this territorial conflict between China and the U.S., also taking up a lot of space, really. When you look specifically at Chinese state media, that's after Beijing released certainly the baseline, the details, the specifics here of its territorial sea adjacent to the Scarborough Shoal. Let's bring in Minmin, our China correspondent, to give us really the context. Well, we've been talking about the story quite some time. So why is this specific development important?
Yeah, so we all know that there has been increased frequency of these clashes, the ramming of vessels and the firing of water cannons in the South China Sea. And what happened was on Friday, the Philippines president had signed into law 2 separate pieces of legislation that is meant to strengthen the Philippines' maritime rights. And that drew very strong condemnation from Beijing, which 2 days later issued its own set of baselines for the territorial sea adjacent to the Scarborough Shoal. And the Chinese Coast Guard said that they will strengthen patrol in this area. They are accusing the Philippines of stoking tensions here by sending their own Philippine military vessels to the area. And China also said that these Philippine fishing vessels in the area are operating illegally. So this, in some ways, it is nothing new, but it is perhaps Beijing's way of responding proportionately to the new laws that the Philippines had enacted.
And as David was just mentioning, it's something that's been quite actively discussed on social media. What's sort of the read-through in terms of what people are saying?
Yeah, on social media, I was seeing predominantly very nationalistic comments, echoing what the official stance is, which is that, we really should resolutely defend our territorial integrity, that this is something very unreasonable for the Philippines to do. And for some context, for many Chinese that I've spoken to, the issue of the South China Sea is really something that is black and white for them. It's not something that is disputable because they have always seen this area as part of their historical territory from the Han Dynasty until now. And Philippines' claim for it in the Chinese eyes is something that is very recent. And so that's why a lot of Chinese people are just very aggressively defending this and saying, we should exploit those areas, turn them into tourist attractions, for example. Also interesting, the Ministry of Natural Resources had published a list of 64 names, Chinese names of these reefs and islands in the South China Sea with their pin in as well as the specific coordinates. So it's another effort by the government to really put their stamp on these features in the South China Sea.